Hi, John Kavakis here with another edition of My Take. Today we're going to be taking a look at GLM's 1975 Chrysler Cordoba. So let me ask you a question. What do you think when somebody's talking to you about cars and they mention the 70s? Most of us think, oh, the malaise era, big bumpers, smog control, slow cars. Yep, that's true, but there was still a lot of excitement. I mean, new cars have always been new cars, and on New Car Introduction Day, we were all excited to see what the manufacturers had come out with. The designs were revolving, working with the new federal standards for crash controls and all that sort of thing. Most manufacturers turned their attention to interiors that became increasingly more plush, more equipment, more electronic, with engine outputs cut by, in some cases, 60 to 70% from the late 60s, early 70s. Power was down, but comfort was up, and that's where we got those spectacular interiors from the mid-70s. Now, prior to 1975, Chrysler was toying with the idea of a mid-sized, smaller, more personal car. But they had promised their constituents that there would never be a smaller Chrysler. So the Cordoba was originally intended to be a newer version of the Plymouth Sebring, which gave us the Roadrunner and the GTX and some of the muscle cars from the 70s. But in the mid-70s, Chrysler was cash-strapped. They were looking for ways to make more profit, and they saw a way to market this new design as an upscale competitor to cars like the Thunderbird, the Riviera, the Toronado, and all of a sudden the Cordoba was born, and it soon became one of the darlings of the 70s. It had that neo-classic design, upgraded interior, the whole thing. It was a more personal sized Chrysler. They wanted us to understand that it wasn't smaller, it was more personal size. So Tom Dirnberger has been working with GLM to bring us this 1975 Cordoba. It comes in 5 different colors. Let me see if I can get all these right. We've got Starlight Blue, Frosty Green, Spanish Gold, and Silver Cloud, which is a bright silver color. Now, they're only making 75 of each car, so they're going to be relatively rare. GLM has promised Tom that they're not going to make their own version of this car. So, if you're interested in this car, you need to snap it up. And to be honest with you, the most rare versions are going to be the Silver Cloud, because some of those will come with a red roof and some are going to come with a silver roof. And there's only 75 of each. So I've got the blue one here for us to take a look at. And while I'm getting them out of the box, I want to talk to you a little bit about the market, because I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but the market is beginning to evolve. It's beginning to change. We're certainly seeing higher level of detail, higher level of finish. Some incredible things going on with some of the newer models, but we're also seeing this move into cars in the 70s, and GLM has been one of the leaders of that. Sergio's done a couple, but as the buying clientele ages, they're going to want cars that they grew up, that they aspired to. Back when I got in a hobby, the word was that nobody wanted cars from the 60s. And it wasn't too long ago that we heard nobody wants cars from the 70s, except we're seeing those become very popular. The Cadillacs, the bigger cars, the GM large bodies, and the Chryslers and the Emporiums and all that, and now some of the smaller cars, Monte Carlo, and here's the Cordoba. So it's just something we need to keep our eye on. Even the Malaise era gave us cars that were desirable, and people are going to want models of them. So here we've got the blue one. Let me take it out of its case here, and we'll get it on the turntable and take a close look at it. And first thing I just want to mention, the first thing that I always notice on any new model is the finish, and this is just spectacular. It is lustrous, it is deep, it is even. The metallic, and this is what I love about a manufacturer that takes his time with the paint. The metallic fleck in the paint is to scale, so it's not overdone. When you take the pictures, it looks right. So the finish is just fantastic. Lensing and badging is superb. The front grille is got the black wash on, it's very deep. The hood ornament is very nicely picked out. I'll get some close-ups for you on that. The The taillights are just exquisite. They're really well replicated. Again, badging is superb. And I like one of the things that GLM's done here is they've got this really nice pinstriping on the sides of the car and on the trunk, and very, very delicate trim along the hood. The windows are up. I wish they were down because the interior is fantastic. We'll get to that in just a second. But the door handles are picked out nicely. The opera lights near the opera windows are very accurate. That was a huge trend back in the 70s, if you remember. They even have the little lock buttons on the door. You can see those. The trim around the windows could use a little bit more dimension. It's certainly not a detractor for the car, but you know, it's a little flatter than it could be, but it's pretty much to scale. It looks good. Again, here we have a really superb interior. I'll try to get some shots. It's hard to see in there because of the windows, but the seats look realistic. They almost look like they're fabric. The dash is very well picked out. The instruments look fantastic. You can see the vents on the dash are well replicated, and the steering wheel is multi-tone. Just a fantastic job, and the door panels and all that, very nicely done. And one thing I want to mention about this car that is just absolutely superb are the wheels. The wheels are excellently done. There's incredible depth. They look almost like wire wheels. They're really well replicated versions of the 1.1 car. It's just a beautiful model. It's you know, GLM is just at the top of their game. They're doing a fantastic job with these things. So let me go to the 5-star. Fidelity is a 5. You know, this thing to calipers and measures out to exactly the right dimensions. Trim, lensing, and badging. I'm reluctantly going with a 4. It could be a 5, but I'm going to go with a 4 because of the trim around the windows. It's not really dinging it too bad, but I just want to call that to your attention. The color is a 5. I would give a 5+ on the paint. The interior detail is a 5. Wheels and tires, 5+. And the value at the new price of $129, this is still a fantastic value. I'm going to give the value a 5. So that gives a total of 29 out of 30. These are only available through Tom Dirnberger and a couple of his dealers. I'll have the information in the notes underneath the video that you're seeing here, so you'll be able to get a hold of those if you're interested in buying a car. But you got to move quick. They've been out for a week or so, and from what I understand, they're going very quickly. Beautiful car, 75 of each. If you really want the rare ones, you're going to get a silver with either the silver roof or the red roof, and you need to move quickly on it. So that's my take on GLM 75 Chrysler Cordoba. Before you go, do me a favor, would you hit the like button if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, it's okay. But if you liked it, hit the like button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber. We got a lot more videos coming. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.